So I want you to think about your dark night of the soul. That big, like catastrophic or seemed catastrophic thing that happened, the health scare, the injury, the accident, the heartbreak, the job firing, the death, whatever that thing was. And already from where you are now, how is it one of the greatest blessings of your life? If you can't think of it, like I want you to press pause and really journal on this. And I know you might be like, sorry, you're spiritual bypassing, please. No, it was really traumatic. Trust me, I know trauma. I teach trauma for a living. And what I will tell you is I have a very different belief on trauma than most of these people you're going to see on YouTube. Oh my God. Last night, some video on YouTube came. It was this like older, like white lady therapist. And it's like people ask questions, and this girl was like, I was adopted, and I've had really bad relationships, and like, what do you think's going on? And the lady was just like, well, of course you have really bad relationships. You're going to struggle with really bad relationships your entire life because you were adopted, and not at 1 month, but at 8 months. Oh God, it's irreversible damage at this point. And I was just like, what in the fuck is she saying? Because it's like, what is the story we're telling ourselves? That story that she is perpetrating right now is a story of victimhood. And what is that doing to the poor girl who sent that question so vulnerably? It's telling her you're not fixable, that you will never have a healthy relationship because of something that was out of your control. And that shit is so fucked up to say, oh, because you experienced trauma, you will never have love. Because you didn't grow up with parents in a loving relationship, you'll never have a loving relationship. Because you were cheated on, well, you're gonna forever have trust issues. That's the shit we're saying, fuck you to, for real. Because that keeps us looped up in the victim story. And guess what happens when we can stay looped up in that? You keep manifesting it. I remember one of the first books I read after the infidelity, I looked on Audible. Of course, I decided to read a book first thing. You could just see where I was at in my consciousness then. I was like, okay, must learn how to fix the heartbreak of cheating. And it was like, I'm not even saying the book's name. It was some stupid ass book. It was like, find a cheater and save your life. And the whole thing was like, oh God, you are doomed. You have PTSD. In fact, it's worse than PTSD. It's post-betrayal trauma, complex disorder, and you're just not going to even know what's real anymore. And the levels of gaslight you have, it's going to take forever to unwind. And whoever did that to you is a sociopath and a narcissist and dangerous. And, got to check your bank accounts because they're probably stealing all your money, and check everything, and your life is doomed, and good luck to you. That was the book. Not a great book for like your first read right after that kind of thing. And even then I knew I'm not taking the story on. I am not going to make this thing that was like completely out of my control, the thing that makes me now not have the thing that I want most in life, love. Why would I now decide I am set out for doomed for endless heartbreak and suffering forever because of something that happened? If anything, this is going to be the reason why I do the deepest excavation work of my life related to love, to on the other side have the deepest love I have ever experienced. And true, not role-playing love. I'm husband, you're wife. You come home at 6, I make dinner, we watch movies, go to sleep, repeat, rinse, da-da-da-da-da. List goes on until eventually an affair happens. That's the paradigm most people are on. It ain't working. If you haven't noticed, it's not working. But if we go into our dark nights of the soul, we use them to make ourselves sexier, more alive, more in our hearts, more in our joys, more in our presence, more in our truth, not afraid of our shadows. One of the things I say in my rap is, my shadows made me sexy, plus they gave me some more ass. And what that really means is your shadows, those parts of yourself that come from the wounds, they are the way. They make you sexy and they give you more ass, like more booty and more twerk, more bounce. Even twerk is a state of consciousness. It's a state of being open and releasing in your body and being free. And by the way, it's just how people have danced in foreign cultures around the world. It's African culture, if you look at many tribes, it is gyrating of the hips in the exact position that we call twerk. And now is this like horrific thing you must never do. It's just African dance from the Makoba tribe specifically, practiced all over, specifically the Congo. There's some dance sociology for you. Belly dance comes from, all around the Middle East, specifically in Egyptian cabaret style dance, we'll see the gyrations and the shimmy. If you actually look at all forms of dancing, bachata dancing in La República Dominicana, like cualquier, there's always going to be gyration of the hips. There's always going to be movement and expression, because that is actually the feminine form of spirituality. The feminine path to spirituality is through our dance. It's through moving our bodies. It's through coming alive. And patriarchy, which has been really conditioned in our minds from religion, and I'm not saying that's how the religions started, but it's definitely how they've ended up right now due to the past 2,000 years of rewriting all of the books. And it's not originally what Jesus or Muhammad or any of those people said, but it's been used for control. And what is the quickest way to control feminine power is to tell her that the very things that put her in her power are going to keep her from love. If you show up in your wild, liberated feminine essence, which is the truth of who you are, you will never be married. You will never be accepted. You will live alone and you will suffer. And that is the story they told us time in and again, in and out. The story of Eve. It's made us afraid of the feminines, not even the truth. We go back to the truth. Yeshua and Mary Magdalene were a tantric couple that healed the world through their love and their divine union. But then what? They rewrote her as a whore. So this is how deep it runs. The Madonna whore complex has been imposed in all of our consciousnesses. That you're either the Madonna, the virgin, the wife, she who is loved, but could never be fucked. Or you are the whore, the slut, Lilith, Eve, she who can be fucked but never loved. So it's one or the other. So then what happens? And this consciousness is very, very active amongst, because we women, we can feel, we have both sides of ourselves. We have that side of ourselves that's like nurturing and loving and soft and loves our children, loves our animals and loves our plants and is just like so full of light and joy. But we've also got that snake energy, that jaguar energy, that underworld energy. And she's a force to be reckoned with. But we're taught if we want to be respected, we want to be loved and cherished, cut yourself off from that. And the men are taught if women exhibit any traits of that, oh, she must be a slut. But then what happens is they marry the woman who they see as the Madonna, but then they cheat with the one who they see as the slut. And it creates this split in their consciousness where she can only be one or the other, but I'm caught because I deeply desire both. Because deep in the masculine consciousness is the knowing that the feminine is both. She is both sacred and sexual. It's the split due to religion that has caused both of us to divorce ourselves from this side of ourselves, even men suppressing that side of themselves that is animalistic because they're afraid of their power, because society has told them a man and his power is dangerous. So sit down, be quiet, don't be loud. And so men are so suppressed. They're hunters, they're warriors. We need men in that power. It's hot for men to be in their power. We're craving that shit. Us as women, that's why women want the bad boys. Why do women want the bad boys? It's not the bad boy you want, it's the wild man that you want. It's the warrior that can protect you, that cares for you, that would never hurt you. But if someone hurt you, they'll definitely hurt them. You know, he doesn't want to kill, but he could if he needed to. It's that energy. Women, we're craving that as well, but men have been split. We have all been hand sanitized, suit, polished up, Stepford wives, and neither of us want to play these roles anymore. So through your dark night of the soul, you can integrate, because I'm going to assume a lot of us in spirituality, myself included, we're really great with the light. The light is like, that's our hood, like we know what's up fairies. But the darkness, we've often suppressed that. And there's definitely the shadow work bitches out there, and shout out to you, like, big respect, you know, and maybe the light is where you have a harder time accessing. So first I'm going to speak to the people who have a harder time accessing their dark nights of the soul. There were definitely times that I would be crying and I would be like, is this ever going to end? Is there ever going to be a day that I stop crying? Because I can't imagine it. It felt like the tears were endless. And so sometimes I wouldn't even want to go there. I was just like, oh God, this thought's coming up again. I don't even have energy to go there. Like I can't, because once I start crying, I won't stop. But I knew that one day, eventually the tears would dry up. And to just feel them when they were there, but not just to like sit and cry and have a pity party, but again, to move them through my body through my Triple E method. So I'm going to link below my daily embodiment practice absolutely for free that you can do to have an experience of my method. It's a 10-minute daily embodiment practice you can do. I also teach this method now at Highest Self Institute, my school, so you can learn how to become an embodiment coach and not only do this method on yourself for your own healing, but create a career for yourself as a certified embodiment coach. It's 3 months, we dive deep. Month 1, emote. Month 2, embody. Month 3, express. So you learn how to use this method on releasing anything that you're holding on to. Whether you're in your dark night of the soul right now, there's 3 months ago, 7 years ago, when we don't actually go in and do that deep healing work, we stay stuck at that vibration. And that's when you start to notice the patterns. I keep attracting the same kind of guy. I keep, getting stuck in the same situation. That's because you didn't go into the dark night of the soul. You were like trying to skirt around it because you were afraid of the tears never stopping. When you use the method and you go into the tears and you move them through your body, they become the greatest gifts of your life. Oh my God. It's like you find out things about yourself that you would have never experienced before. And after every single time, I would be like, thank Goddess I sat with myself in this practice today, because I would have never cleared that. And I would have been holding on to that in my body and I would have been manifesting from that place.